Hey, hello everyone. Good evening and welcome to the session. It's Thursday again, and here we are with the resume preparation session. So, again, I welcome you to the same. It's a resume preparation session by 360DigiTMG. Today's topic is crafting impactful bullet points for job experience. You remember, every time we have demo, we always say that we have exclusive resume preparation session. Yes, this is part of that. So, let's start with today's discussion. So, what is the agenda for today? We talk about bullet points today and we see why bullet points matter. Of course, when we see why bullet points matter, we always want to see what are the components of effective bullet points if it matters that much. Now, why we should start with strong action verbs in those bullet points, how to write bullet points while writing them, how to be specific and relevant while using bullet points, and how to avoid common mistakes. And of course, when we are talking about all of these, we talk about example of impactful bullet points. So let's start with the session. Now, why bullet points matter? You must have seen in resumes, right? Different resume you must have seen that many points are written in bullet points, right? Many of the factors that are clearly mentioned in bullet points. Well, it is the mean of effective communication, right? We all know it is really good way of effectively communicating, right? So bullet point allow for quick communication of key points. If you see paragraphs, you will be searching for your recruiter will be searching for all these points, right? Come on, a recruiter doesn't have that much time, does he? Of course, it doesn't, right? So, bullet points make sure that you have key points mentioned, right? Also, it enhances readability. As we discussed, your recruiter won't be finding your key points in your paragraph you mentioned. So, you effectively write bullet points. Well, it breaks down complex information into digestible parts, right? Rather than seeing a big paragraph, it's better to do it in bullet points. Put it in bullet points and see the magic. Now, it highlights achievements. Of course, if you're writing it in that way, you will be in a position to highlight your achievements in a really good way. How to do that? We'll see in further slides. Visual appeal, of course, writing a solid block of paragraph, come on, it doesn't look good, right? So it enhances these key points, enhances visual appeal of your resume too. And let's face it, even if your resume passes ATS, it will ultimately go to a human being, right? And it should be visually appealing. Well, how to make it visually appealing? We have a separate video on the same. And yes, in the coming sessions too, we will be having similar videos, right? Now, as we mentioned, well organized bullet points make your resume visually appealing. Now, what are the components of bullet points? Or I should say components of effective bullet points. Action verb. Now, we need action verb that actually represent action. Whenever you're writing a bullet point, start with an action verb. What is action verb, you ask? Well, we have a complete video of action verbs and power words that will actually interest you to know, right? So, talk about task. And when you're talking about task, clearly describe what task you did. For example, you talk about your previous company experience. Talk about what you did using action verb. We will see example. Don't worry about that. Talk about outcome and result in one line, right? You highlight your impact on your work, right? Formula, well, action verb plus task plus outcome. It is a solid bullet point. Example for the same. Developed a new training program, reducing onboarding time by 30%. Now think of it. Developed here is a action verb. It's an action verb followed by whatever the task is, right? It developed new training program, and what was the outcome, or what was the result? You may ask. Well, it's reduced the onboarding time by 30%. There you go, a solid bullet points having action verbs, having tasks, and the outcome. Right now, as we discussed previously, start with action verbs. Why action verbs matter? They make your experiences sound dynamic and impactful. Action verbs like led a team of 50 people, led a team of 40 people, right? See how dynamic it sounds. There are some examples of strong verbs like led, initiated a project, right? Improved drastically on certain aspect of the work. Write it, note it down, and make sure that you write your keywords, your bullet points using action verbs. Designed, achieved, all those are examples of strong verbs. There are some verbs, well, which you should refrain from mentioning. What are those? Those are weak action verbs. For example, responsible for, worked on, helped. No, don't use all these verbs. Go for action verbs, right? As I discussed previously too, if you need more information on the same about action verbs, we can actually go and refer to the video in our playlist, right? So now you need to quantify your accomplishment. Keywords are important and bullet points really show those points, right? You need to quantify your accomplishment in those bullet points. Why quantification matters? When you talk about numbers, it provides clear and measurable proof of your achievements. It has a different level of impact, right? Numbers, whenever you put your numbers, it impacts a lot. Now, example, increase sales by 20%, manage a team of 15, reduce cost by $10,000 annually. See this number, quantification of your bullet points, quantification of your data is really very important. There are some tips though. For example, you can use percentage, dollar signs, right? Time saved, all other quantifiable topics. Let's face it, percentage, by how many percent something improved, right? In one of the project, we said we want to reduce NPA to 10% of the initial level. Well, that was a project we did when we were talking about NPA reduction, right? That our client was one of the leading bank. Now, there is another thing that we call time saved. Let's face it, time is money, right? Whenever your model is running, or whenever you have any problem you have, and it relates to time, it's very important to reduce that time. Reduce downtime is one of the project that we did. There we reduce downtime, right? And of course, there are other quantifiable metrics that you can go for. What if, you may ask, if the exact number is not available? Well, you can actually go for estimate. Just right, approximately 15%, for example. Write it. Let the person know, let the recruiter know. You're not sure of the number, but it is approximately 15%. Still, you are quantifying your resume, right? Those points you're clearly quantifying, and that matters a lot. Now, when we're talking about bullet points, it helps you to be specific and relevant. Whenever you find anything, any job description, you tailor your bullet points, your professional summary, etc., according to the job description, right? You mention those words, that are mentioned in the job description, and the flow according to the job description. You need to focus on relevance. For example, if you're talking about data science, coming into data science field, you need to make sure you mention those points which are relevant to this field. Of course, past experience, you can definitely write, and you should write, in fact, but at the very same time, you should Show what you have done in this field too, right? And make sure that you highlight that. Now, you need to use industry terminology. What is industry terminology, you may ask? Well, use language and terms common in industry, right? For example, in data industry, there are terms which are very, very specific to this industry. You may use those terms. Where do we find that? Well, in the job description. It's available, right? Go for it. Example, for data science position, rather than writing just analyzed data, you need to be specific what you did. For example, you develop predictive models using machine learning algorithm, resulting in a 20% increase in forecast accuracy. There you go. You quantified your bullet point, you made it relevant, and you tailored it as per the job description, right? You need to write your bullet points in such a way. Also, you need to avoid common mistakes. What are those common mistakes, you may ask? Well, vagueness is one of them. Well, if you're not referred to the data description, sorry, job description, being a data scientist, data description is something that comes very commonly, right? It comes out of blue. And in a flow, definitely it comes. So yes, let's talk about it again. Vagueness. When you have job description, make sure if you're not seeing job description, that is a big, big problem. Go for job description, and when you see that, you will find specific word. So you won't be vague. Your resume won't be vague. Now, avoid vague descriptions. Be specific of what you did in this field. We talked about it previously, right? Exactly. This is what you need to do. Repetition. Avoid repetition. Your resume has limited space. Avoid repetition of same action verb or task so that even your recruiter will be very, very interested to know about you. And in short time, that recruiter will be in a position to understand more about you, right? Now, overloading. Make sure your resume doesn't have too many bullet points, right? Make sure that whenever you're focusing, focus on the most important ones. You know what are the most important one and most impactful in your resume, right? Focus on that. Irrelevance. Now you need to make sure that your action verbs or your bullet points are relevant, right? You need to avoid that. Excuse me. Also, here you'll see an example. For example, mistake, worked on various projects. This is very, very vague. As a data scientist or in your previous company, you must have worked on something, but be specific, right? Your recruiter wants to know that and will be very happy if you mention that. Improvement, you need to you say that you have spearheaded a cross-functional team project leading to a 15% increase in productivity. See, every time we are mentioning a bullet point, it's starting with an action verb, right? And what the work was done, what was the task, and the result, then an outcome. You can clearly see 50% increase in productivity. When you say 15%, again, you're quantifying the same. It is very, very important. Now, we have seen some example. Here's one more example of impactful bullet points. Before you write responsible for managing a team. That's it. Nothing extra. Next, if you see after, see this. Led a team of 10 to complete projects on time, improving efficiency by 15%. There you go. You just improved your resume when you wrote in this way. Check it once. You might have written a before type of bullet points. That is not at all good. And this is one of the mistakes we all do. Additional tips, of course, the first and the very, very important thing, be honest and authentic. Don't mention anything that you haven't done. Be honest and authentic. Be yourself. Recruiter will love that more. And keep it concise. Very, very short. Don't write a complete paragraph in a one bullet point. No, just be very concise, be very clear about that. Use parallel structure for readability. Parallel structure, one bullet point after another, right? That will be really, really good. Now, when we talked about bullet points, we are talking about resume. It would really interest you to know some of the famous job portals we have, right? So a few famous job portals are something you already know. If you don't know, you can see one of these job portals, right? In fact, you can go for all the job portals and see. That would be really good. And make sure you improve your resume and upload your resume to those job portals. A few famous Google search results. If you just Google something, you will get a lot of good results. And you can see there are a lot of open data science positions, even for freshers, right? Just go for it. Now, there are some keywords that we need to mention in data science resume. Well, there are many, but here are some that we are clearly mentioning, right? You can include these bullet points, of course, based on your job description, whatever job description you have, based on that, use these bullet points. Now, there are some frequently asked questions that are asked in an interview. For example, your recruiter might be interested in knowing regarding the challenging project that you have worked on. Next question, how do you stay updated with industry trends? You need to tell what you do, right? I won't be answering this. You need to ponder upon this so that you think and you make ready uh, all the answers that you have, right? Make sure you use these questions. Give an example of goal you set and how you achieved it. Do it. Be quantifiable, right? Now make sure you quantify all those achievements. Describe a time when you had to work with a difficult team member. We all have that difficult team member you have to deal with, right? Just go through it, think about it, and prepare for these two. What do you do if you make a mistake that no one else noticed? Let's face it, this is very, very important. We all make mistakes. We are human beings, right? Happens. Now, what do you do in such situation? That you need to mention. Now, we all know we all have passion for something. For example, you have passion for data science. That's the reason you're here, right? Your passion is waiting for your courage to catch up. There are so many times we know, right? We know we need to do something in this field. We know we need to read this. We know we need to read that. It's just you're not courageous enough to catch up, right? So, this is a quote by Isabelle Leflesh. Just follow this. You will reach great heights. Now, talking about our institute, you can contact us anytime on this given number. Mail us at inquiry@360digitmg.com and visit our website. Well, I'll take you to our website because in that we have a beautiful things to show, right? There are so many things, there are so many initiatives that we are spearheaded, and yes, we would love you to see all those things. So we have offline centers in Bengaluru, Chennai, and Hyderabad, and of course, there are many. If you're watching this video on YouTube, of course, make sure you subscribe to this. And yes, do like this video. Also, follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on LinkedIn. We have accreditation to international certification bodies like Microsoft, State University of New York, Future Skills Prime, Panasonic, and TCS iron. Now, you know how to make your resume ATS friendly, right? You must be thinking about that. Well, we have Resume Mapper for you. Resume Mapper, what is it? Now, as we discussed, we have a lot of goodies for you in our website, a lot of free things, right? A lot of freebies we have in our website. Now, this is a Resume Mapper. Let me take you there from our website. This is how a beautiful website looks like. Now, when you scroll down, you have popular courses that we offer. There is domain analytics for you, right? We talk about 76 plus domain. And yes, we have all those domains. You can read about us. You can read about career transition and talk to our alumni about that. and our alumni work in different companies, right? Now, once you go there, of course, you have mind maps for easy internalization of concepts, and freebies are here in the learning resources page. Now, when you go to learning resources page, you will see what all you can do today, what all you can learn today, right? And of course, you will be talking about different things we have. We have some or the other session coming on YouTube. For example, tomorrow we have a data science free internship for people who have completed their projects or are interested in doing any free project. There we go, we have it, right? And today, for example, or tomorrow at 7 p.m. again, we have global academic contribution that we do, right? It's an interview with Shilpa Sri, which is one of the participants here who got her research paper published. So yes, we'll be doing the same. Now, let me take you to the resume mapper. Here you can see there's data learning library, AI design studio for machine learning, and data skill assessment. Let me take you to the resume mapper since this is resume preparation session. So you must be excited in knowing what we have in this domain. So there you go. This is how the resume mapper looks like. In resume mapper, you upload your resume and you upload your job description. Now, job description you can upload in PDF format, in Word file or any file, right? And you need to pay, or you can paste your job description here too. Well, to reduce your time, we have done it already. So what we'll do is I'll just put these files here, and I'll directly take you. I'll just put it to compare, and when we compare, I'll directly take you to the another page that I've already done. Here, this is the result you get. This is how you get the result, right? You have job required skills missing in the resume and job required skills present in the resume, and you have matching percentage. Clearly, matching percentage is really low in one of our interns resume. Now, based on all these things, we have interview preparation, right? Interview questions. Now you must be thinking, okay, if there are these skills that are matching or there are these skills that is missing, even if you include that in your resume, how will you prepare for your interview? Well, don't worry. We have interview questions here. Just click on any one of the topics that are given here and click on the interview questions. And there you go. You have all the interview questions. Now, where did we get these interview questions from? Well, from our alumni who have appeared in various job interviews, right, and cracked those interviews. And how they cracked it, they'll tell you in their success stories. But what were the question asked? They tell us here, and we add those questions right here in the resume mapper section, right? You can go through it once. Also, when we talk about free goodies, right? One thing that may interest you as a data scientist or data analyst, right? Here, as a data scientist, there's AI Design Studio for machine learning. When you're done your project, you know you have to draw a project architecture. Here is the project architecture. Right from the start, right from the data sources to the end user devices, we have the complete flow. Now think of it here as a beginner or an intermediate or an advanced level person. You can actually mention all these things in your resume, right? You can mention that you know how to draw a machine learning workflow end to end. If you mention that and you show this all these things to your recruiter will be really very happy. Being a beginner and knowing all this stuff is really praiseworthy. And your recruiter will be really happy to have you, right? So there are so many things in a website. There's data assessment test. There are free ebooks. You can just go for it, right? And just make sure that you utilize all these things. These are free things just for you. And friends, Please keep subscribing to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and keep visiting. We have new content coming each and every single day, right? We have our project details there on our YouTube channel. We have resume preparation session. We talk to our students who got their research papers published. Yes, our students get their research papers published in international journal. You can go to YouTube and see all those videos and experience that. When we say all those things, these things matter. And yes, we make sure your resume is polished in a really, really good way. So again, paper publication is one of those factors that affect your resume in a really, really good way, right? Your recruiter will be really happy to see your paper published, your work, your research work, right? So also make sure that you visit the playlist that we have in our YouTube channel, because we have plethora of videos all free for you, right? So I'll take your permission to leave today's session. We'll meet again next week. Till that time, rock your day ahead, rock your week ahead, team, and yes, enjoy your time. We'll meet again. Bye. Take care.